So things do seem to be heating up around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I made a video the other day about how it seemed to be heating up around Braden Shen. Now, here's the thing. When I look at the costs or the alleged costs of a lot of these players, it depends on what they're willing to give up and what the cost is, right? So they have Ben Danford, they have Easton Cowan, they have Fraser Minton, they have a first round selection. Now, it is kind of crazy to give up a first round selection for a bottom six center, right? Now, I think that people need to take that into some context. On the surface, it does seem crazy, but usually late first round picks are more like second round picks anyway. A lot of people look at these picks like, oh, they're going to be like, a fantastic player, but most of these players are never going to play in the NHL anyway. That's all that I'm trying to say with my take on I think that they should make a move. Prices are very crazy right now in the National Hockey League. Now, we have new information coming out from the Leafs Nation saying that there is a report that Scott Laughton would, quote, love to play for the Maple Leafs if traded. I love to hear this. Obviously, I believe he played for Oshawa, who is my hometown team, the Oshawa Jennies. And listen, I love to hear this. I really do think that this might make sense. Now, again, this is going to be the beginning question of the video. Would you guys be willing to give up a 2026 first round selection that the Maple Leafs have? Is that something that you would look at and say, okay, I'm willing to give that up? Would you be willing enough to give up a Ben Danford, a Fraser Minton, or even an Easton Cowan? See, now for me, it depends. Easton Cowan, absolutely not. Fraser Minton, definitely not. Now here's the problem, though. The Philadelphia Flyers really like Fraser Minton. Now, if Scott Laughton is interested in coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs, perhaps he would be willing to re-sign. This is the thing. I'm willing to give up more the longer the player is willing to stay. My take on Fraser Minton is that I think at best he's going to be a third-line center. Okay, so my logic with Fraser Minton is that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a third-line center. Scott Laughton is an excellent third-line center. So in terms of value proposition, that's actually not bad if you can get Scott Laughton to re-sign and stay around. And that's the major issue. If he plays one more year for the Leafs, and then you have 5 or 7 years of good quality play at Fraser Minton playing center, that's where it becomes a little bit difficult for people to swallow. I don't like that he only has a year left on his contract. The reason that I didn't mind them going after Shen, and I said this before, was the fact that he actually has 3 years left. And here's the thing. The Braden Shen rumor is that the Maple Leafs are trying to get half salary retained. And the first round selection going to the St. Louis Blues. I don't know about you, but I would do that, right? So if they could half retain it, the Leafs give them a second, that first round selection in 2026 and maybe another piece, not one of our top prospects, but another piece, I would do that in a second because it solves their center position for the long term. The biggest, if you've been following my channel for a while, I've been very consistent on the fact that I want them to solve this center position for a long time. I don't want them just to have to keep on going over and over again. So let's look into what Darren Dreger said. During Tuesday's edition of Insider Trading with Gino Reda, Dreger provided an update on where things stand for GM Brad Treliving and what he hopes to achieve going into the trade deadline Friday. He made it clear that the Leafs' main focus is to add a center and that center and that Laughton would love the opportunity to don the blue and white. Great news, love that. You look at Scott Laughton of the Philadelphia Flyers, many close to Laughton believe that he would love to suit up for the Toronto Maple Leafs if there's a trade that makes sense. Love this. Love this stuff. So again, it all depends on what they have to give up for this player. Because I understand a lot of Leaf fans are saying, hey, listen, if we have to give up a lot, at the end of the day, the guy's a bottom six center. I mean, it's factually true. It is what it is. I mean, yes, I understand he's a really good center. I understand that people like the way he plays, but it is what it is. Now, I was watching the Leaf Report today, and James Myrtle and Jonas Siegel were going on and on about that it might just cost too much to get the center that the Maple Leafs actually want, right? And that the costs are going down because there's a lot more defensemen that actually are available. So that it might make sense that the Toronto Maple Leafs actually go after a defenseman and kind of leave the center to be to be decided, essentially. Maybe you can get like a Nick Bukestad or something at the last minute of the trade deadline. I am going to give my opinion. I don't really like that at all. I do think that they need a defenseman. I do think that when Chris Tanev is out of the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs, whew, they look a lot worse. That Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev pairing has been unbelievable for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't deserve nearly enough credit. That is a true top pair shutdown pair. They have to fix their bottom pair with just a couple of guys that can go out there and play 17 minutes, and you put them out for a shift and you're not absolutely having a panic attack. I don't know about you guys, but I watch Connor Timmins, and if you guys are Leaf fans, I'm sure you can attest to this, that I get a full-on panic attack when Connor Timmins is out there. You know what Connor Timmins reminds me of? He reminds me of the right-hand shooting Travis Dermott. Way too confident with the puck for absolutely no reason. Now, normally I'd like confidence with the puck, but in this regard, I do not, because he's almost overly confident for no reason, because he just makes these really weird mistakes. I am not a fan of his. Simon Benoit has been awful. I've harped on about this for a long time, that they absolutely need to make a bottom pair. They have to fix their bottom pair. Morgan Riley has not looked good this year. I have not liked him, but you're going to have to deal with that. He's just simply not playing like a $7.5 million defenseman, but whatever. So again, I understand what the James Myrtle and Jonas Siegel are trying to say, that they might want to go after a defenseman, but you have to solve this center position. They are going to get absolutely cooked in the NHL playoffs if they don't have a proper center. Who are you going to put there? David Camp? He never scores. Oh, okay, we'll put Max Domi. He can't play any defense. He's going to get absolutely cooked in the playoffs. Anyways, that's my opinion. I just wanted to drop on all the Leafs news and information that I got today. If you guys can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.